Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because we are running on fumes. And I have a question too. And the question is, do you speak English? Do you understand the question? Anyways, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. We have a sponsor today, Delete Me, which I will talk about in a bit. But man, oh man, let's get into it. There was a new bill passed by um, President Trump that was from the Obama era. And what it did was it oversaw that truckers in the United States need to speak English. And you've got it's 49 CFR 31.11. And what it states is that they have to be proficient in reading and writing and speaking English. Now, what this did with the Obama era was they set it up so that you could have foreign truckers uh, drive into the United States. And you can sit there and say, oh, that's no big deal. That's happened forever. Okay, maybe. But the idea with this was that it was driving down wages, driving down trucking fees that they could charge, and making it so that all these people were basically taking jobs away from Americans. Now, whether you believe that or not, here's the problem right now. Because of the trucking recession, shipping recession, the down economy that we're all living through right now, you're seeing that there are a tremendous amount of truckers that have trucks that are not worth nearly the amount of money that they had to pay for them. In 2021 and 2020, 2021, 2022, during COVID, there were certain laws and things passed that made it so that you had to have certain, here in California especially, you had to have certain exhaust requirements, and people just couldn't go to the port. You had to have so much hours. The truck had to be so new. So people went out and, gosh, well, I'm gonna, this is my career. I'm gonna be a trucker. So let me go out and buy $100,000 truck, $200,000 truck. Let me go do this. Now, the problem with this is that as work slowed down for these individuals, you have a tremendous amount of trucks on the road today that, number one, are not insured, which is shocking to think about. If you know, from somebody that drove across the desert, I mean, you know, you guys saw how many times I went back and forth to Las Vegas, and even just use the first of the year, what, 6 times, whatever that was. Anyways, I pass those semis all the time, and I've never once thought, God, I wonder if that guy has insurance, you know, as I'm driving by him. And the windstorm, you know, about a decade ago, where I saw these trucks that are just falling over. Wind was so strong, fell over. You don't think about stuff like that because you just think, okay, it's a business, right? Business is paying everybody. They're making a good wage. No, they're not. And now what you're seeing is they've done deferments. You know, you've heard of forbearance on your mortgage. They did this on these trucks, and it's horrible, guys. Oh my God. They have trucks that people did deferments for 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, almost a year on some of these. And now they cannot refinance the trucks. Now the banks, and here's the thing about banking, and we've talked about this in the past. You have banks that specialize in certain things, like, hey, we are a home loan company. We do home improvement loans. We do trucking loans. We do commercial real estate. You know, you see all that stuff. And the problem with it is these companies that have specialized in truckers and long haul truckers. I have when I was, you know, in the 80s at a friend's family, that they financed these trucks and they made a killing doing it. Absolutely did a ton of this. Now, with this, it's a specialty. And with that specialty, it's done because these guys would go out. You could have your own truck and you could create, you know, a good life for yourself. Now, not so much. And then the restrictions and the insurance and everything that they have, they're making everybody here do that. So, oh, you're from out of the country and you're driving in from Mexico? Well, we don't have to ask you these questions. But now these Senate bills, they're pulling truckers over at way stations and saying, can you read this? Yeah, I can read that. Repeat it back to me. Making people repeat back what they're saying, what it says on the piece of paper, reading it to them. And then I want you to write out the sentence. I want to say a sentence and you write it out, sir. And I've seen TikToks and things like that where people are doing this, and it is unbelievable. But the trucking industry is running on fumes. And you can sit there and you can talk about how crazy that is, but it is. It's nuts right now that it's this upside down. So the next thing, and I want to use their language because it is just um, it's absolutely crazy. Um, you know, McDonald's sales are sliding because of economic uncertainty. Is that why you don't go to McDonald's? Seriously. Are you not going to eat at McDonald's for economic uncertainty, or is it just that bad? Are things that upside down in your life that you don't want to eat at McDonald's? I mean, guys, it's not, none of this stuff is cheap anymore. I went to In-N-Out, you know, got myself a hamburger, got Rosie a burger, and spent $20, which I was like, okay, that's kind of reasonable. Of all the companies that I've researched lately, In-N-Out is opening up in 3 states. Okay, there, instead of closing, I found a list of all these different uh, restaurants and retailers that are expanding right now. Let's get some good news out there. In-N-Out, 3 different states: Texas, Idaho, and I think Georgia. No, Idaho, Texas, and one other one. But again, In-N-Out is doing that, and again, family owned and operated, no franchises. They're doing that. The next store that's opening 15 stores is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is adding 15 new stores to their line of stores, which again, I love hearing that. It's not all bad news. And, you know, it's difficult enough to run these businesses. So let me know what you think about that. If that's a big deal, I think it is. People can't ship anything. You know, one of the things that's crazy is I had an article sent to me by the health ranger. And I was looking at this and I go, dude, this is in Chinese. I can't read this. He goes, you got to read this. Just go out and put it through translator and have it translated to you. And what this article talks about is Walmart is so freaked out about the tariffs. Walmart has told all their manufacturers, go back to work. These people are leaving. Don't shut down. Go back to work. We are going to pay 100% of your tariffs. Notice how this isn't reported here. It's through a Chinese newspaper. Isn't that crazy? So you're going to have, we were joking. Now, my joke is if I ever get rich, I'm going to start buying $900 socks. And you may pay $900 for socks. Or, hey, underwears. We've got underwear for $60. Come on down. You know, who can afford this stuff? Okay, this is going to get crazy. But Walmart has said we don't want to run the risk of having 40% of our stores. Think about that number: 40% of the stores with no merchandise. And again, guys, here's the thing that I've talked to with manufacturing and the people that have shut down. If it was resolved today, which you know it's not going to be resolved today, it would take months to get this stuff caught back up. So that's where we're at. Let me know what you think so far. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day out here. Let's talk about our sponsor, Delete Me. One thing in our life that is a real problem is our privacy and how do we maintain it on the internet. There is a company that is fighting all the data brokers. Data brokers are companies that collect all of our personal data and sell it. Now think about this: your name, your address, your phone number, email addresses, pictures of you, where you work, your home's value, your job. All this stuff are things that people can buy right now. There is a great company with a great service called Delete Me. And Delete Me is a service that gets rid of this for you. Sign up today, save 20% off the regular price by using the code iAllegedly. Use the link below to sign up for this. So many of you have done it. It's incredibly fast and easy. I love it because once you sign up and they ask the questions about you, they go to work on eliminating things. They give you a report monthly on everything that they've eliminated. Check it out today. Get your privacy back. Get your, your security back, and know that people cannot find you. And, I'm a private person, guys. I don't want people to know all this stuff about me, and it's a great service. Save 20%. Use the QR code here, sign it for Delete Me today. Check it out, save 20%. You know what's wild is the layoff numbers that we've heard, and we haven't even gotten to the worst part yet, they say. But think about this. In tech, there's been 100,000 layoffs. If you add everything up from Google, Microsoft, TikTok, Intel, Siemens, UPS, and then a few more firms. It's a great article below talking about that. But guys, 100,000 people have lost their jobs. It's just unbelievable. You know, Joann Fabrics was bought by a hedge fund, and they were ran into the ground. A lot of these stores were actually profitable, but one thing that's very common is you buy a company, sell the real estate, and then lease back the stores to the individual locations, and they can rent back. And a lot of these places can't afford the rent payment. You guys have walked through the mall and seen how in the heck these guys make it when there's nobody here. And a buddy of mine, Dave, went out and went, to the mall and was giving me a, scorecard of everything that he saw. And this place had one customer. This place was busy. The Nike store was packed. This place had nobody. That's interesting because people will buy shoes right now. They'll buy, very expensive shoes and shorts and shirts with the swoop on it. And it's nuts right now. Joann Fabric, it is just got announced that 45 of their locations are going to be taken over. It looks like Burlington Coat Factory. If you want to see a swap meet of merchandise, go to Burlington Coat Factory. The one in Huntington Beach, California, at the nice mall, Bellaterra, I'm telling you, you need a bath when you leave that place. It's so unsafe in Huntington Beach, in a great city, that they have a guy at the door who is facing the opposite direction. He is facing, when you walk in, his back is to you. And I'm like, what's this guy doing? Well, this guy's making sure people aren't running out with merchandise. He's there to tackle somebody. And I'm like, wow, do you catch people every day? Every hour I catch somebody sort of trying to steal from us. Is that nuts, guys? So you got a guy not facing the door, facing away from the door so he can catch the stealers. 5 states in America where the most millennials have moved last year, and the 5 states that they fled, and I won't bore you with those, read the article below. But here's the thing. You get hot areas and you get dead areas. And what it basically comes down to is economics. It's funny. When my son moved to Boston, I'm like, dude, do me a favor. Just listen to one thing, that your dear old dad has to say, and that's get a job first and then move there. And then you can know how much you can afford for rent and things like that. Oh, okay. Would you feel better and support this if I did that? Yeah. And then it did. It took him about 2 weeks to get a job, but he did. And then he found, where he was going to live. Nobody does stuff like that, guys. Nobody investigates before that. It's like I talked about in that last video where that poor woman got scammed out of the apartments. Just take a step back. Talking to all these real estate professionals since I did that video about escrow and people wanting to show up. People are lazy. We'll DocuSign everything. Why don't you sit down and talk to these people? Make sure you're delivering the money and sending the money to the right location. I'm too busy, Dan. You can walk through the park all day long. Okay. Kohls, man, this is wild. Just got a new CEO at the end of last year. She's gone already, okay? And she had 100 days with the company. And this was going to be the big turnaround expert. And she had pushed deals with a vendor whom she had a personal relationship. Hey, let's buy from these guys. Uh-oh. Highly unusual terms she gave a vendor. Isn't that wild? So Buchanan. Her name is Ashley Buchanan. And she's no longer CEO of Kohls. So they're actively searching for a new CEO. So if you'd like to be the CEO of Kohls, send your resume to Kohls right now. Isn't that crazy? As I talk about all this stuff with different real estate and everything that's going on, people send me stuff about what the new administration is spending. And The new administration is spending more money than the last administration spent. They spent about $200 billion more than they thought they were going to with the new administration. Are you shocked about that? Do you sit there and go, oh my God, they're pissing money away? I don't really think of it that way. You know, one thing that floors me, and I can't wait to talk to an old buddy of mine who's in naval intelligence as soon as I can get a hold of him. But the morale with the military is higher than it's ever been. The recruitment is through the roof. People want to, hang out with Pete Hegseth and work out and be part of the military again. Thank God. I mean, doesn't that sound good? God love these people for fighting for our freedom. So, you know, um, what else? Oh, Elon Musk is not working at the White House anymore. He is officially out of there. Doing everything remotely now, but he's not working there with Doge. Again, can't we just get along? Remember, Bill Clinton was president, guys. We had to all like Willie. Okay, we had to listen, support me, because I'm going to do you right, Danny. Okay. Anyways, nobody wants to hear that. I hate this guy. He's terrible. You're part of the problem too. Okay, thank you. One thing that I absolutely loved, I thought I got a kick out of this story, was Laura from Connecticut sends me the best stuff. Okay, and Hamden, Connecticut, Hamden has basically an average price of a house of $324,000. City is struggling right now. So what are we going to do? We're just going to raise your property taxes on everybody. Now, grandma, okay, and they said, listen, get ready for a new supplemental tax, okay? And people are like, why? Why are we doing this? Which is a great question, because you shouldn't have this. And here in California, we've got that Prop 13 that went into place when I was in junior high. My dad voted for that thing, Howard Jarvis and all that shenanigans. But now they're going to have a supplemental increase. And for some people that own, a $324,000 house, they're already paying property taxes. They're going to have a $3,000 to $5,000 supplemental tax. How does grandma do that? Let's just say it's $300 a month. Where does that money come from? How do you pay that? How do you do this? Now, here's the line that people say, well, you never really own your house, Stan. Well, no, that's criminality, guys. And Hamden, Connecticut should be ashamed of themselves that they're doing this, because they're pissing their money away. Everybody in the city hall is getting paid. The city workers, the trash people are getting paid. But no, we're just going to raise the price of everything else to you guys. It's terrible. Let me know what you guys think about this. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, if you're on the email list, check your email spam folders. Make sure you got that, okay? Onward and upward, and I'll see you very soon.